Hey everyone, it's Argonath here from the Return of the Fan, and a new article on Bounding into Comics about Melissa McCarthy, who was an actress in the Ghostbusters 2016 movie. So if you've never heard about the 2016 reboot of Ghostbusters, go and watch some YouTube videos. There's some amazing content out there about just how bad and catastrophic that movie actually was. That was just an embarrassment, and they didn't pay homage to the original movies, which were awesome. And they just kind of disregarded them and tried to reboot it as an all-female band of Ghostbusters. It could have worked if they did the movie well, but they just didn't do it well, and they filled it full of comedy, but the jokes were just completely flat. Apparently they did a lot of ad-libbing through the movie and just kind of made up stuff as they went, and that added to the catastrophic nature of the actual film. So let's have a look at this article. So actress Melissa McCarthy baffled why moviegoers think reboots and relaunches are wrong. Now think to yourself, can you think of any reboot or relaunch of a movie which has actually been better than the original one? I just cannot think of anything off the top of my head. There must be something out there, but I just can't think of it. So if you can think of something, please let me know in the comments section. So Ghostbusters 2016 actress Melissa McCarthy recently revealed that she's baffled that moviegoers think reboots and relaunches are wrong. Of course, if you just reboot or relaunch a movie, you should just go and see it. It's going to be awesome anyway. While promoting her upcoming film The Starling, McCarthy did an interview with Yahoo Entertainment's Kevin Polloway, where she was asked about her thoughts on the Ghostbusters 2016 film. Polloway asked her, "How do you look back at Ghostbusters 2016, 5 years later, now with perspective? Do you share many fans' viewpoints that it was underrated?" It wasn't underrated, it was a disaster. What are you talking about? McCarthy responded stating, "There's no end to stories we can tell, and there's so many reboots and relaunches and different interpretations, and to say that any of them are wrong, I just don't get it." No, if there's no end to any stories you can tell, you don't need to reboot something, do you? You only reboot something when you run out of ideas about what you can actually do. Just because you did a relaunch or a reboot doesn't mean to say that it's going to be good. People don't have to like it if they don't want to. I don't get the fight to see who can be the most negative and the most hate-filled. Everybody should be able to tell the story that they want to tell. If you don't want to see it, you don't have to see it. Well, a lot of people didn't go and see it. So does that mean we're not allowed to comment on any particular movie at all now? If we don't like the movie, we're not allowed to comment on it at all? That's just ridiculous. Of course she's going to say that because she's in Hollywood. She's a woke person. It doesn't appear that anyone is stopping anyone from making reboots and relaunches in Hollywood, as film studios constantly tune them out. Just this month we got an announcement for Babylon 5 and Flight of the Navigator reboots. So yeah, apparently Flight of the Navigator, I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but I saw that when I was little. That was a pretty awesome movie, but they're going to redo it, and this time instead of a boy, they're going to have a girl. Obviously it has to be a girl. You have to gender change. You can't have a boy because boys and men are just not allowed to be good role models in movies anymore. So it has to be, a heroine, has to be a girl. I'm not too sure about the Babylon 5 remake. I've had a look at it. I'm a huge Babylon 5 fan. It's got the original writer that's coming back to it, so I do have some hope for it, but we'll see. But generally, you're only doing a reboot because you've run out of ideas, right? And clearly there are plenty of reasons why a reboot or relaunch can be viewed as wrong. One of the biggest reasons is if the rebooted or remade film is altered to push an evil ideology, and that's exactly what Ghostbusters 2016 did. Another is the fact that the story has already been told. If there are so many stories to tell, as McCarthy claims, then why do you need to do a reboot or remake? Yep, just what I said before as well. The most obvious answer is corporate greed and the idea of making a quick and easy buck. Of course, because these earlier movies have a built-in fan base, right? So if we can reboot it, everyone think, oh, okay, it must be quite similar. Maybe it's kind of similar but different from the original one. We should go and see it. So it's got a built-in fan base that they're trying to pander to, or not trying to pander to them actually, but they want to kind of con into going to see this movie, and then they make a quick buck out of it. But luckily for us, most of the reboots fail quite miserably, so hopefully Hollywood will get the message and they actually stop doing it, but I don't think they'll get that message for a while yet. Although it's unclear how effective that idea really is, now with Ghostbusters 2016 being a prime example. Well said, John F. Trent. think it was John F. Trent who wrote the article. Let me just double check, make sure I get the right person. It is John F. Trent. Cool. So he's the founder of Bounding Into Comics. As for McCarthy's comments about not seeing the film, clearly moviegoers did that with Ghostbusters in 2016. The film only grossed $128.3 million at the domestic box office and a worldwide gross of $229 million. So most of that is built off the name Ghostbusters, right? So you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of money. So let's have a look at what it cost. It had a reported production budget of $144 million. So it took $144 million to make. They made $229 million. So you're probably thinking, oh wow, they've made lots of money out of it. But in fact, this means the film lost a lot of money. Movies typically need to earn 2.5 times their production budget in order to begin to be profitable. So that worldwide gross of $229 million, that doesn't take into account the cuts that the theatre chains make, the cuts that distributors make, all that kind of stuff, all the marketing that has to be involved in marketing the movie as well. That all comes out and goes onto the budget, right? So that's why movies need to earn about 2.5 times their production budget, because the box office, when we talk about a film earns $1 billion box office gross, that doesn't all go to the film company, because they'll get a cut of that. Okay, especially in China. China takes about 75% of the gross of the box office for a film in China, and the movie companies only get 25% of what they get out of China. So that's pretty massive cut there. So in Ghostbusters 2016's case, it would have needed to earn $360 million. It clearly fell short by about $131 million. So let's hope that that's a lesson to Hollywood, but it's going to take them a long time. They're going to need to learn their lessons over and over again. Not only did people not watch Ghostbusters 2016, but they also didn't go and see McCarthy's The Kitchen. I watched some of her movies and I don't see how people find her funny. I find her the most unfunniest comedian ever. She's just terrible. The Numbers reports the film had a production budget of 38. So this is the Kitchen movie. Had a budget of $38 million, but it only grossed $12.1 million at the domestic box office, which led to a worldwide gross of a measly 15.7. So the worldwide includes the domestic plus the extra from overseas. So didn't even get close to making the production budget. So remember, you need to earn 2.5 times that to actually make a profit. So they lost quite a lot of money from that. Maybe the most ironic thing is McCarthy shows her own disdain for critics of soulless corporate reboots and remakes that are pushing evil ideologies like feminism by describing them as negative and hate-filled. It's almost like she doesn't grasp the fact that she decided to label large swathes of people hate-filled simply because they don't like reboots and remakes. Talk about being hate-filled, exactly, John F. Trent, an excellent point you make there. Right, she's just being an absolute hypocrite, because she's doing exactly the same thing that she's claiming lots of other people do as well. Is there anyone out there that actually likes any of Melissa McCarthy's movies? I watched a couple, they were just absolute trash. So I'm never going to watch any of her movies again, and luckily I don't have to. There's lots of other old movies that I can keep me going. Anyway, so if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you're welcome to give me a thumbs down. That's fine as well. If you have any comments to make, or you know of any reboots that have been better than the original, or if you liked any of Melissa McCarthy's movies, put those in the comments as well. It'd be good to discuss those. And if you like my content, give me a subscription. It just helps my videos to get out there and noticed by the YouTube algorithm, and I would be really appreciated. Anyway, that's it for this particular video. I hope to catch you in the next video.